So I can't even tell you how excited I am. Hall of Fame head coach C. Vivian Stringer. I can't thank you enough for, first of all, agreeing with everything that is going on in your life. Your season is about to start, and you agreed to do this interview for our series, When Mothers Pray. I'm excited because I know some of your story, and I know how amazing you are as a mother. So I just wanted to ask some questions so that you could share some things in your life that I know will encourage other mothers when they hear your story. You have 3 children, right, Coach?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and 2 sons and a daughter. Did you always think you wanted to be a mom, Coach?
You know, I wish I could say that I did, but honestly, probably when I was in college, that's the last thing that I thought about. And I know when I think about how great my mom was, that she, I guess, epitomized, you know, what it was to be a mom. My husband and I were more career oriented. That is, he was in medical school, and I was, pursuing coaching, and so it was some time before we actually had children. But as God knows, that's the greatest blessing that I could possibly have had, and I wish I had known that all along.
I just happen to know and have met some of your siblings. Mm-hmm. What a strong, powerful family you come from, and you can see your mother and your father that you speak of, and how they raised you. How many siblings, Coach?
We had 6, 6 family members, but yeah, we were taught to be extremely close. With a number of things that I've gone through, my sisters and my brothers have been my rock. As you know, my husband passed away suddenly. He was in his 40s, just like my mom, and I really feel that like the end of the world had come, and I could not possibly have made it in this world had it not been, for the strength that my mom demonstrated. Wow. When she lost our father. I would listen sometimes and would think that maybe she's crying, but she never, you never saw tears in her eyes. And Dad was a breadwinner. He worked hard in a coal mine every day. I don't remember him ever missing a day, even though he had both of his legs amputated. Wow. Yes. So I saw strength and resilience. I saw love and caring, and I never would make excuse for anything that I've done. I just considered myself to be extremely fortunate. And I just remember my mom hugging me when my husband passed, and me, trying in her arms, and just, and I just didn't think I could live and get up another day. She would always hug me and say, VI, which is my nickname, VI, it's okay. I couldn't handle that. I couldn't handle that because we have a daughter that is special needs. More importantly, I think that I should say that Nina cannot walk or talk or move. She was stricken with meningitis at 14 months of age. My ideal would have been this. I dreamt of having a white picket fence, and having, the children. It takes two, husband and wife, and if you're missing one, that's important. But that's where my family stepped in, and when I didn't think I could make it, I couldn't make it without, my husband when he passed. And we were in Iowa. I didn't know anybody in Iowa. You know what I mean? We came to make Iowa our home. I can't tell you how my family stepped in and became my rock, and they were everything. And that statement, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village, to hold each one of us, because we all need somebody to help us.
It's so true.
And I'm a very sensitive person. Wow. I know I care a great deal about people. Yes. I'm standing here today as a result of so many people that have been my inspiration and have caused me to stand up every single day. They say that God doesn't give you any more than you can bear. Let me tell you something, I question that. I really did question it. And yet Nina wasn't supposed to be, lived beyond 14 years old, is what the doctors were telling us. You know, and we just celebrated her 40th birthday.
Her 40th, hallelujah.
And so, I mean, Jesus,
wow.
We all need somebody to lean on.
So,
you know, and I want to say this to you, you and Pastor have been really an inspiration to me and my boys, and I really, truly appreciate it. Every time we would, you know, come out of the church, I would ask the boys, okay, so what did you learn this day? And what did you learn about that? And they were so excited when we would come to your church and Pastor, really, and he says things that are funny, he related to them in any age, and I knew that, oh my goodness, I finally found a church, because I really do know, honestly, and believe that if we can give our children the love of God and them to really count on, you know, Him to guide them through life, that they can meet any of the difficult things that are going on in life. They can do that. They can do that, you know, and that's what we've got to give them. To navigate through this very complicated system of things that are going on. And when you think about Harriet Tubman, or you think about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I mean, I've got to do more. I've got to do more. Basketball is extremely important to me, but what I'm saying is that I use that as a platform, you know, to let the young people know what we've got to do, you know, and yet I feel like what did I do? What did I do? And what have I not done? And there's a lot of things that I have not done.
But let me speak to what I've observed just from the time that I've known you. And I forgot when it was, because you've had many. Your players gathered from years and years and years of you coaching. And all we see on the court is love and support and respect. And I wanted to ask you about that. Young ladies come to you, their parents leave them at the college, and it dawned on me you are a mother to their children when they drop them off. Now I know firsthand, just from knowing some of your players, you take that very seriously. It's not just about what they do on the court and X's and O's. It's their lives that you focus in on a coach. That's right. And could you speak to that some? Because you really are a mom to those players.
I can't even tell you how important this is, this journey. You just want to hug them, love them, and let them know that they can be anything and everything. And that's what I've been driven to. I know that, and I take that very seriously, because I know how I care about, you know, the people that touch my children's lives, and now they're adults, you know, but it's life's lessons and how they can make it and what are their dreams and aspirations. And I couldn't possibly look myself in the face if I didn't give them everything that I possibly can. The little girls that will become young women that will grow up. When Nina, at 14 months, the doctors told me that she's fine. I had a gain that day. Took her to the doctor because they said Nina was the most beautiful, laughing child, you know, and we were having a game. I didn't feel right because Nina seemed to be irritable, and it was close to Thanksgiving. And when I took her to the doctor, you know, they said she's just fine. And so I was putting Nina's jacket on, and the doctor was sitting at her desk. And so Nina walked away a little bit, and I said, "Nina," and I called her, you know, to finish zipping her jacket up. And instead of her turning her head like, you would normally do. And she turned it in a robotic state like this. She was having me put her clothes on then. And she set her on the desk. And then she moved her neck.
Wow.
Right, and moved her neck. Right away she said, we've got to do a spinal tap. Everything happens so fast.
Yeah.
Everything happens so fast. But I was fortunate because my husband was alive then, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so, he was my rock and he was everything to me.
Mm.
And so all of a sudden, we are rushed to Children's Hospital in Philadelphia.
Mm.
And it was a nightmare. The doctors misdiagnosed what happened. It was crazy because they said, well, she probably just has a toothache. She's cutting teeth because she was cutting teeth at the time. But I'm telling you, I think that mother's instincts are most of the time correct, contrary to what a doctor was saying. Mm-hmm. And I'm just grateful that Nina has lived as long as she has. And it's the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. But I just prayed that Nina lived. I needed to be able to handle what was happening to Nina. Because Bill had told me earlier, like maybe 6 or 7 months before, he said, Vivian, we've got to make a decision because Nina needs to have what they call Lukey rods. And Lukey rods were going to expand her chest in order for her to breathe. Well, I'm scared. Like Bill could handle that. Bill could handle that. Like, I don't know that it mattered that he was in medical school, but he could handle that. I would always have to have somebody that doesn't tell me the truth like that, like that. I couldn't handle that. It was like when my son Justin was in a car accident, because they were saying, well, we don't know if he's going to, be able to communicate again, and he was in a coma on Nina's birthday, and my sisters were there, and we had taken her in her wheelchair into the hospital. And so Justin woke up. He was like, I was stunned that like I wanted to grab Ricky and Malin, my sisters, to let them know Justin's waking up. And he said, Happy birthday, Nina. I said, wait a minute. He'd been in this coma, so happy birthday, Nina. And he said, Mom, it was kind of crazy. He said, in that coma state, because I felt like I was in this world, but not of this world.
Oh, Lord.
I got the strength, and I say that again, Mom, she never cried, but she was tender and she was warm, and she gave us, and I knew then that while I always talked about my dad, I didn't understand it, but I have done everything that I possibly can going forward, because Mom was the person that she was. She has demonstrated so much strength, and hugged me and helped me to be strong. So I don't know, where she got it, but that's what I know about me.
Things that I've heard from you, I want to encourage moms, single parents, single moms or single parents, they're single dads, but for whatever circumstance or whatever reason you are single, it really touched me that you emphasize rely on the village, rely on family, rely on friends. Sometimes we don't realize it, but sometimes we try to make it on our own and think that we don't need, but there are those that want to be there. There are those in the village that want to be there. And then your emphasis on prayer. You talked about your son's accident. You talked about Nina losing your husband. God has been with you. And I know it's your mother's prayers. I know you praying. You don't see yourself as a strong person. But I'm like that crowd that you say other people see you as strong. I see you as that. And I see that caring person. I can't even say my son's names to you without you wanting to know everything that's going on with them, how they're doing. That's just who you are. And I see you as that mom to your players. So the last question I want to ask you, and you've touched on this, but where has prayer been for you in all of this that you talked to us about, just being a mom?
I can't imagine where could be if I didn't have prayer, because when all else fails, you always know that you can rely on prayer. We can be wrapped in prayer with God. We can be wrapped and we can be protected through so many things, but we've got to know where He is.
Well, Coach Stringer, can I just thank you so much? I can't even tell you what an honor it is for me and for you taking this time. I know that someone's going to hear your words, your testimony, your story, and be encouraged to move forward and to hang in there. You know that my family adores you and your family, and we are excited about this season. We will always be praying for you and your family. We thank God for the fact that He brought you into our lives. I remember the day you were introduced at First Baptist, your Sunday there, and Pastor had you to stand and welcome you, and only God knew what was ahead for us. But our love for basketball, our love for you, we're just grateful to you. So thank you for taking out this time to just share with this theme, When Mothers Pray. Thank you again for joining.
No, thank you so much for inviting me. I really, and I'm sincere when I say that. It means everything in the world to me. And I'm grateful to have you all in my life.
Amen.
And our children's lives.
Yes. Thank God.
So thank you. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak now.
Thanks, Coach.